Hi, welcome. I'm Catherine Ann, an intuitive astrologer and galactic channel. Welcome to my YouTube channel where astrology meets intuition and spirit speaks through the stars. Here I bring together my background in tarot, channeling, and the healing arts to offer a soul-centered, intuitively guided approach to astrology. I share the cosmic messages I receive, blended with the ancient wisdom of the skies with spiritual insight to support your journey and deepen your connection to something greater. The more I practice astrology, the more I'm convinced of the divine orchestration of the universe. As we look at each astrological transit, it becomes more clear that we are always being supported, guided by the cosmic energies that hold us, teach us, and help us evolve. So if you're drawn to astrology infused with heart, spirit, and energetic depth, you're in the right place. Be sure to subscribe and join me for cosmic updates, new and full moon energies, intuitive forecasts, and more. So now let's dive into the new moon in Gemini forecast. So, Gemini, busy, 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 fun, 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 go, go, go. This is the energy of Gemini. And what I want you to notice about this chart that I have up is all the beautiful blue lines. So when we're seeing all these blue lines, those are all trines and sextiles, not a red line in the bunch. So that means we are fully in an energy of flow, which is amazing because what does Gemini want to do? It wants ease, it wants flow, it wants to go and move and have fun and just be with the wind. And so that is a beautiful energy that the sky has set up for us in order to bring in this new moon in Gemini. Now, that doesn't mean that every day on the approach to this new moon or after the new moon has this beautiful flowing energy, but we are taking a snapshot in time looking at the energy of this new moon, and we're going to talk about how we can set intentions using this Gemini energy to help us put into the ethers new ideas, new thoughts that we want to bring into form. So let's talk about the moon in Gemini. The moon in Gemini is ruled by Mercury. And wouldn't you know it, but just the day before, Mercury entered Gemini. So it is happy as can be. It was kind of grounded in Taurus, not upset, but not in its full airy energy. And it just moved into Gemini. So now it can offer its full natural power to the moon that we are going to be having. And for some, you'll notice that this Mercury is very close to the sun. So it would be considered combust, which would maybe have a little bit less energy. But because it's in its own sign, it's in what's called chariot, which gives it that extra burst of ability to provide for its moon. So we're going to look at things that Mercury represents. It represents communication, learning, thoughts, ideas, fun, connection. And so when we're looking at a new moon, which is all about seed planting, we're going to combine those two ideas about where are we going to want to bring forth or set new intentions around new ideas we have, new things we want to learn, different types of communication we want to bring forth. This is what the new moon in Gemini is offering to us. But really important to note is that, as you can see, we have many other planets in the mix. So new moon in Gemini is not in a vacuum, and we need to look at what is happening with the rest of the planets in the sky that is forming the cosmic energy, the kind of like the container for this new moon. So some additional things to consider are, even though we're finding ourselves in this refreshing, new, busy Mercury and Gemini time, we're also very, very, very newly into Saturn into Aries. So the quality of time has shifted completely just less than 48 hours before we're going to be having this new moon in Gemini. So we need to take into account that things are feeling a little bit different. Not only have we had Mercury move, we've had Saturn move. within those couple days before we've moved into Gemini. And really, the sun is only newly in Gemini too, because it just moved in a few, maybe like 5 or 6 days earlier. And so it's all this new energy. Shifts and changes has been the theme of 2025. These are more of those shifting, changing energies. And so what we're looking at is a new moon in Gemini that is now colored for the very first time in 29 years of also having Saturn in Aries. In addition to that, Pluto is in Aquarius, newly retrograde in Aquarius. So we have these two big outer planets that are really part of this conversation. We've had so many things going on in our collective, represented by Pluto and Aquarius, this transformation of our whole, of our collective energy. And we can see that big groups of people being impacted by societal changes. In addition to that, we have had about 2 years with a really strong focus on Aries. We had the North Node go through Aries. We have spent some good time with Chiron in Aries. And now Neptune recently moved into Aries for the first time since the 1800s. And now, as of less than 48 hours, Saturn is in Aries. So we have all of this focus on Aries energy. And what does Aries feel like? It feels like young, fiery, independent, me energy. So what do I want? What do I want to do on my own? What do I need? It's about me. And so now we have this whole new quality coming in with all this Aries energy. And now we have to feel that teeter-totter between Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. So we're reflecting on what have we just been through in the past about 6 months since Pluto moved into Aquarius for good in November. And there has been a lot going on. And we think about mass layoffs. We think about mass immigration issues. We think about mass casualties due to natural disasters. So it's like these mass events that have been happening. And the way Pluto works when it moves through a sign is it is ultimate transformation. But most often, just like the caterpillar is going to completely dissolve into goo in the chrysalis before it transforms into the butterfly, this is what Pluto does. And so as Pluto has moved into Aquarius, the dissolving has been taking place in our greater collective. And thankfully now Pluto is retrograde. I'm hoping that'll slow this down a little bit. We're going to reflect on what's happened. We're going to kind of think about how this has all been taking place. We might even see some things being turned around, maybe not for good and true, but for the moment, maybe some things that we thought were going to take effect got halted before, and then Pluto might turn around again and they'll pick back up in a different way. But this is part of that breakdown and that destruction that happens at the beginning phases of transformation when Pluto moves through a sign. So as we've had all of this collective stuff going on, we've really been focusing on the whole, the global energy. Now we're going to have less energy on that and a little bit more energy on this Aries, Saturn and Aries. It's only going to be here for a few months. Then it's going to retrograde again before it does its final move into Aries. But these next few months are giving us a taste of that independent, that what about me? And so we're moving from, oh my gosh, everything that's happening in the collective to, okay, now I have to figure out me. Saturn is Mr. Reality Check. And so Saturn is going to be saying, okay, you want this? Can you really do it? Is it practical? Have you thought it through? Is this a self-centered choice or is this a mature choice? So we're going to have some evaluating going on for there. And how does this all apply with the new moon in Gemini? Well, what happens is that we are so busy. We have so much going on. Jupiter has been in Gemini for almost an entire year, expanding our thoughts, expanding our communication, bombarded by media and messages and innovation and the go, go, go. And now with this new moon in Gemini, we have an opportunity to plant some of those seeds in that Gemini area to take forward. But the thing is I don't think we're going to really know exactly what seeds we want to plant. And that is okay. We don't have to know exactly what seeds we want to plant. When I was talking about this with Spirit and really getting kind of the message about this new moon in Gemini, the theme they gave me was setting intentions like dandelions blowing in the wind. So you know how that goes, right? You blow the dandelion and all the little seeds fly in every which direction. There's no guarantee that those seeds are going to find a place where they're going to take root and turn into their own dandelion plant. They're going far and wide. Some of them will land in fertile soil, others will be trampled or land in places where they just can't grow. And this is what's going to happen to the intentions we're setting during this Gemini new moon. So don't get too precious about them. Think about, I have all sorts of things I'm interested in, new things I want to learn, new things I want to do, things I want to change. Gemini is very changeable. It is okay to change your mind right now because we don't really have all the information. 2025, it's this year of shift. We have big things happening in the collective. We have whole new reevaluations of self, and this back and forth of reevaluating self and big shifts in the collective make the ground uneasy. And so setting an intention, planting that one seed and being so precious about it, and then hoping that that one seed grows is not the energy that is set up for this new moon in Gemini. So we're going to take a little advice from Spirit and we're going to set intentions like dandelions blowing in the wind. Think about everything that you've been excited about. What sounds fun? What sounds new? Is there something you want to learn? Is there a new, do you want to connect more with people? Do you want to have more communication? Are you interested in communicating more in the sense of getting your voice out there, getting your message out? All of these things, scatter those seeds to the wind and see what takes root. Because in the new moon, this is the beginning of the cycle. So we're not talking about, I want this and it's going to show up right away. We're saying, I'm interested in so much stuff. And that expansive Jupiter and Gemini for the past year has just been filling me with ideas. So it's time to get excited about the potentials. With all of these sextiles and trines, there's opportunities everywhere. So we are going to take advantage of this very opportunistic energy and say, I want to do all of this stuff. I want all of these changes. I'm not really sure what's in my highest good at this point. I'm not really sure what's going to match with the energy as we move through 2025. None of that matters. We're going to just go for it and throw them all out there. So when I'm looking at this, I think about the cycle of the new moon. We plant the seeds now in June, end of May, and we're going to be seeing that full moon in December. The thing is, by December, when some of these seeds have taken root and they are coming to light, you are going to be a very different person. There is no way around it. 2025, people are entering this year a different person than they are exiting this year. And so by the time we hit December, you'll see what took root. And because of that time that Saturn spent in Aries, you're going to be having some thoughts about what do you want to dedicate yourself to? Where do you want to commit to yourself? Where do you not? This is too hard. There are too many obstacles, too many limits. I'm not so interested in this if it's going to be that hard. And then when these seeds that have sprouted come to light in the full moon in December, you're going to say, yes, this, no, that. Yes, this, no, that. And that's going to then give you that opportunity to really bring something into form that has a more grounded, a more rooted option that really speaks to who you are and who you want to be, not from a place of self-centeredness, not from a place of ego, but from a place of, I've been watching this grow. I've been growing and developing with Saturn moving into Aries and really making me look at what matters to me. And this is what I want to really focus on. So when we're looking at where this is going to show up for each of you, we're going to look at all the different houses that the new moon in Gemini is showing up, because this is the area where you may particularly feel like you want something new or different. It's that idea of movement and joy that you're trying to sprout up in this area. So you may not know exactly what this looks like, because that Gemini energy can feel scattered, it can feel distracted, it can feel just kind of all over the place. And especially in this area that I'm going to talk about, this area of your chart, that's where Gemini lives. And so this might be an area for you naturally in your life that feels a little bit more busy, a little bit more distracted, a little bit more scattered at particular times of the year when this energy is really getting lit up. So if you want to change something in this area, you want to bring more life to this area, you just have lots of ideas about how you want to create in this area of your life, this is the time to do it. So let's walk through the zodiac signs. What you're going to be listening for is, you can either listen for your rising sign or your sun sign. Your rising sign is going to exactly match in your whole sign chart the house that I'm speaking to. And your sun sign, you can also listen to. It's a more symbolic representation that also has validity in this kind of ancient language of divination. So let's talk about Aries. Aries, this new moon is showing up in your third house of neighborhood, communication, school, short trips, siblings. So what's really great about this house is that Mercury is already attuned to a lot of these topics. So if you want to learn something new, you want to launch some sort of communication, you're thinking about writing, you're thinking about more social media content. It also has to do with your immediate surroundings. So, are you feeling like your neighborhood environment is a little too all over the place? How do you want to shift and change to make this feel maybe less scattered? So, this is what we're looking at. I think also for Aries, you may be inspired to plan some short trips. You just want to get away. Like, I just need to get out of the neighborhood. I'm just going to do some day trips, some weekend trips. This is a great time to be planning for some short little adventures. Okay, so Taurus, we're looking at the new moon showing up in your second house of money, cash flow, income, possessions. So, are you feeling a little bit scattered about your money right now? Do you have lots of ideas about how to generate money? Just Spirit just dropped in this idea of what type of lemonade stand is popping into your ideas? Where do you want to maybe generate new forms of income? What bright ideas are coming through? What is Spirit dropping in for you? Mercury is the communicator. Mercury is going to bring the messages. What ideas have been popping up that you're like, hey, let me just see if I can throw these intentions out and if any of them are going to get traction, because I think I might have some innovative ideas on how to adjust my cash flow and my income. Okay, Gemini, this is showing up in your first house, the house of you. And so you love this energy. Your ruler Mercury is in your sign. You feel very comfortable with that. I would imagine that you're going to feel very inspired to just do you. So, are you going to just be more out there? You're socializing, you're talking with people, you're sharing your messages. If you're a writer, maybe you're like, I'm going to write some letters. I have all these interesting things to do. And you actually might feel yourself just being energized. You have the sun in Gemini, you have Mercury in Gemini, your ruler. Jupiter is still in Gemini, bringing huge abundance and expansion. So, Gemini, these couple weeks where Mercury is in your house and you have a new moon and Jupiter has a couple more weeks, I think this is a huge glow up for you. Take advantage of your energy. Don't procrastinate. Don't put things off because you have the energy right now to get some stuff done that pertains to you. What do you want to show up as? How do you want to be seen? Okay, so Cancer, Gemini for you is in your 12th house of retreat, the subconscious, the hidden. It's that place where you escape. And this could be in healthy forms like rest and meditation and retreat, or it could be in vices and secrets and things that are not as helpful, that underworld quality. And so, with Gemini having so many ideas and being so busy here and being so distracted here, I would actually say maybe you need a little bit more rest. Maybe you have that scattered energy going on in your subconscious. It's so busy, there's so much going on. Maybe the intentions you need to set are about ways to ground that energy, ways to not let your mind run amok and frazzle you up. So, this would be a great time to kind of set in motion some of those intentions around mental health healing opportunities, whether that's retreats or therapy or processing your emotions, all of those type of things. We're looking at how to get your subconscious mind to be less of a monkey mind and more of a supportive, innovative mind. Okay, so if we're looking at Leo, that's going to have the new moon showing up in your 11th house of friends and groups. So, Leo, you are going to have a really fun, or at least you have the opportunity to have a very fun next few weeks. Harness that fun Gemini energy and go out, be with friends, have good times, go to parties, make connections. You are so blessed to have Jupiter that has been in this area of good luck and friendship and community, hopes and dreams for the past year. So take advantage of the last couple weeks of that and scatter those intentions out into your friend groups to create moving forward. Definitely a time for Leos to get out. Don't stay home. Don't be alone. Find ways to connect and get out. And even if you're not one that normally wants to be out in the friend groups, are there opportunities to connect in with your hopes and dreams? Or maybe you have some sort of community organization or a place where there might be more people where you can show up and kind of tap into that fun, communicative energy that Gemini is offering you. Okay, so Virgo, we are looking at your 10th house of career, fame, reputation, your public legacy. So Virgos, all the ideas are going. And Mercury, your ruler as well, is in a happy place. It's with Gemini. It's a happy ruler. And so you may feel so productive. You're checking off the boxes, you're getting everything done. Busy, yes, you're going to be busy, but you're getting a lot done and you are feeling like I've got this. So, if you're going to be setting intentions, think about the intentions about what ideas, what things you want to learn, what processes do you want to put in place that have to do with work, career, and public legacy. Okay, so Libra, we're looking at your ninth house of travel, study, philosophy, that religion, and like foreign and legal matters. So I think here with Libra, you have all these ideas about how you can do more of those things. Gemini wants to learn. So, but it's not the bigger long-term learning. It's that quick burst. Give me, I almost feel like sound bites, right? So, are you going to want to look more into different types of spiritual practices? Are you going to decide that you're interested in learning a new language, or maybe you want to go traveling to get better at a language that you've been trying to learn? This is a great opportunity to plant seeds for those type of things. Higher learning, spiritual endeavors, and travel. Okay, so Scorpio, you're going to be having Gemini new moon show up in your eighth house of death, taxes, mortgages, inheritances, and the resources of others. So this happens in two ways. Maybe you're going to have to be kind of putting all your ducks in a row. You have all these thoughts that you've been realizing with all this transformation that's been happening in 2025. Maybe I have some things that I need to get in order that have to do with long-term finances and legacy wealth, or resources from others. So if you have a partner, what's going on with your partner's resources? And are we in this place of maybe we want to enhance our communication about this, or maybe we have some ideas that we need to talk about when it comes to our overall security and long-term financial well-being. Also, when we're talking about Gemini, it's all these little details. So, have you crossed your T's and dotted your I's with all those things around taxes and debt and all of that stuff? Good time to make sure that you're putting out those intentions to get all those little things handled. Okay, so Sagittarius, we're talking about the Gemini new moon in your house of relationships, marriage, and partnerships. So, beautiful time to set the intention. If you are looking for a relationship, set those intentions to the wind. Make your lists. You know, we have this Mercury energy of communication and messaging and writing. So, make those lists of what you're looking for in a partner and send that out into the universe. If you have a partner, maybe we're looking at setting intentions about greater communication or how you want to learn something together. This is an opportunity for fun and entertainment with your partner. Capricorn, Gemini is in the sixth house of health, wellness, it's service, your daily routine. And when I think about Gemini in the house of daily routine and health, this is about all those little things that you're ready to put into place to support your health and well being, to support your daily habits in a way that is new and exciting. Maybe you've been stuck in a rut and you've been kind of been doing the same old routine, and maybe you want to change up your exercise routine, or maybe you want to change up, you want to learn a new health plan, or you even maybe you have a walk you take with your dog and now you want to change that up. Capricorn, Gemini, and the new moon in Gemini in this house is saying, let's change things up in your daily routines that will be supportive of your health and wellness. Okay, so now we're almost there. We're looking at Aquarius. So Aquarius, the new moon in Gemini is showing up in your fifth house of children, pleasure, joy, and romance, entrepreneurship. And so all I can think when I see this is fun, fun, fun. Aquarius, you are ruled by Saturn, which means sometimes that can get a little stuck, a little heavy. And this Gemini moon in your fifth house of fun says, you know how to have fun. Gemini rules, Gemini occupies this fifth house. You know how to have fun. but let yourself do it. Scatter all your ideas to the wind on all the ways you want to have fun. Is it that you're trying to do new things with your children? Are you trying to spark new creative ideas? Is this having to do with dating and just going out and having a good time? All of these ideas are ready to be sent out to the ethers, and we'll see what sticks. Okay, last but not least, we're looking at Pisces. So Pisces, this new moon is landing in your house of father, ancestry, home, lineage, that foundational fourth house where it's where your roots come from. And so with Gemini there, what ideas have you been thinking about? The bazillions of things that you want to fix at home, all the little projects, all the little tasks. If you are a Pisces, chances are, especially with Jupiter and Gemini for this past year, you have long lists of home projects or DIY things that you've been wanting to do. And if it's not within your home environment, are you making maybe your deep diving on your ancestry a project, or maybe you're wanting to have more ideas and information about your family or connection with father. So since this has been an area that has been really expanding all year, I'm betting there's a handful of things that you haven't gotten to yet. So cast those ideas out into the wind. You by December are not going to have them all done, but you will know which ones matter to you most. So with all of this Gemini energy, I'm sure it's felt like a lot to get done at home, but it's okay. Enjoy the last couple of weeks of all of this Gemini, Jupiter and Gemini energy. Cast all those ideas out to the wind and just know it'll all sort itself out. Just have fun with what you decide to take on for now. Okay, so that is the new moon in Gemini through all the houses, through all the signs. Just as a reminder, you can listen for both your rising sign and your sun sign. You can figure out what resonates more with you. And they could be that they both resonate for you in different ways, right? So thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you at the next lunation video, which will be the full moon in Sagittarius in a couple weeks. And if you are interested in figuring out how these moons or these 2025 transits are impacting you personally, you can go to my website, Catherine Anna Energy. I do birth chart readings, astrological weather readings, and intuitive sessions. I'd love to connect with you personally there. And remember to like, subscribe, and share this video with anyone that you think would enjoy it. I can't wait to see you again.